You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.
The options market can be a confusing place. Sorting through the daily avalanche of data, alerts, updates, articles, and analysis to find the most important information is an overwhelming prospect. But now you have help. Welcome to the Options News Rundown, the only program that breaks through the noise to bring you the most important news and information from the world of options. Every day we bring you the top 5 option stories curated by the options experts at theoptionsinsider.com, the premier source for free options information. The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in option trader education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's live Advantage group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider. And now it's time to break through the noise. It's time for your Options News Rundown.
Good morning. Today is Tuesday, June 19th, 2018. This is your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli. Our first story today is from investing.com. It's the top 5 things to know in the market on Tuesday. The first one of those things to know is Trump seeks additional $200 billion in tariffs against China. U.S. President Donald Trump fired a fresh salvo in the ongoing trade spat between the U.S. and China, further raising tensions between the world's 2 largest economies. Trump said late Monday that he had asked U.S. Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer to identify $200 billion worth of Chinese products that will be subject to additional tariffs of 10%. The new duties will go into effect if China refuses to change its practices, and also if it insists on going forward with the new tariffs it has recently announced, the president said in a statement provided by the White House. It's the latest development in escalating trade tensions between the world's 2 largest economies. On Friday, the U.S. announced a 25% tariff on $50 billion worth of Chinese products, prompting Chinese President Xi Jinping's administration to respond with a 25% tariff on $34 billion of U.S. goods. The second thing to know, related, China vows to retaliate. China's Commerce Ministry vowed that it would counter measures if the U.S. publishes an additional tariff list. In a statement posted on its website this morning, the ministry said China will protect its interest, taking both quantitative and qualitative measures against the move. The fresh threats of additional tariffs violate prior negotiations and consensus reached between the 2 countries, the Chinese Commerce Ministry said. A trade war will hurt companies and people in both countries, it added in the Chinese statement. The third thing to know is Dow futures plunged more than 300 points. U.S. stock futures pointed to sharp losses at the open as worries over a brewing trade war between the United States and China kept investors on the edge. At 5:40 a.m. Eastern Time, the blue chip Dow futures were down 350 points, or around 1.4%, on track for a 6th losing session in a row. Fourth thing to know today is U.S. housing data and Fed speakers are on tap. Market players will focus on U.S. housing sector data to gauge the strength of the world's largest economy and how it will impact monetary policy in the months ahead. The Commerce Department at 8:30 a.m. Eastern is expected to report building permits fell 1.4% from a month earlier to 1.35 million units, while housing starts are forecast to rise 1.4% to 1.31 million units. Among central bank speakers, St. Louis Federal Reserve Chief James Bullard is due to appear at 7 a.m. Eastern at the 2018 ECB Forum on central banking in Sintra, Portugal. And the fifth thing to know today is oil markets stay volatile ahead of OPEC meeting. Crude oil markets remained volatile as energy investors weighed potential outcomes for a meeting of major crude producers later this week. Oil ministers from OPEC, Russia, and other major producing countries will meet in Vienna on Thursday and Friday to review their current production agreement that has held back 1.8 million barrels per day from the market for the past 18 months. OPEC's de facto leaders, Saudi Arabia, and non-member Russia have proposed relaxing production cuts gradually, while OPEC members Iran, Iraq, Venezuela, and Algeria have opposed such a move. Our second story today is from CNBC.com. Chinese markets plunge on Trump's newest tariff threat. Shanghai down 3.8%, Shenzhen falls 5.8%. Chinese markets led losses in Asia Tuesday, with major markets in the region closing sharply lower after U.S. President Donald Trump fired a fresh salvo in the ongoing trade spat between the U.S. and China. Trump said on Monday that he had asked the U.S. trade representative to identify $200 billion worth of Chinese products that will be subject to additional tariffs of 10%. Those tariffs will take effect if China did not change its practices, Trump added in a statement. Our third story today is from MarketWatch.com. Intel could see pain from AMD gain in manufacturing, analysts says. Competitive pressures from Advanced Micro Devices and others prompted a rare bearish call Monday for Intel Corp. Intel's process technology leadership is diminished, if not evaporated, wrote Northland Capital Markets analyst Gus Richards, who downgraded Intel stock to underperform from market perform. He expects AMD's nanometer server CPU and 14 nanometer notebook CPU to pose significant competition for Intel. Intel shares were down 3.6% Monday afternoon, while AMD stock was up 5.1% to a new 11-year high. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is news you can use for today, June 19, 2018, your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli. Trade smart and have a nice day.
Thank you for listening to the Options News Rundown. To learn more about these stories or any other developments from the world of options, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com, the premier source for free options information. The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in option trader education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's live Advantage group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider.
The preceding program was a production of the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions@theoptionsinsider.com.